Welcome back to Iron Country Autumn. We're playing Bump in the Dark through the Gauntlet. My name is Jex. I use they and them pronouns, and I will be your keeper. This is our third session of Bump in the Dark, so I will hand things over to our players, and they can say a little bit about themselves, any plugs they might have, and do a brief introduction to the characters. I'm going to go across the bottom of my screen. So, Michael, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and about Dale?
Yeah, my name is Michael Elliott, he, him. I'm a writer and games designer. You can follow me on Twitter at Not Writing Games. And yeah, I'm playing Dale Auburndorfer. Pronouns also he, him. He is everybody's dad, everybody's loser dad.
And we love him for it. Jason.
I am Jason. I use he, him. I am playing Junior. Also uses he, him. He's an 18-year-old Native American native of the area and works at the 76. He's got a scholarship to go to U of M, but he's delaying going there because he's worried about his gran. They live out in the forest and they've seen a lot of spooky stuff the last couple of months. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And Brandon, why don't you tell us about yourself and about Hope?
Hi, I'm Brandon. I'm playing Hope Tremblay, the Raven playbook. Hope is a sweet, innocent-looking young woman who is actually from a future where the weird apocalypse has, or at least a weird apocalypse, has taken place. So she's actually pretty traumatized. On the other hand, she thinks that everything that's going on here, where things are still relatively normal, is terrific. And so she is weirdly pleased by the most ordinary things like pie.
And they have good pie at the Double Z. All right, and Jesse, why don't you tell us about yourself and about Harold?
Yeah, I'm Jesse. My pronouns are he and him. And I'm playing Harold. Harold is a relatively young veteran of the Gulf War, who the Shield playbook, who at some point or another during his tour in Iraq got to looting archaeological sites. Broke a demon free and then had to have it trapped in his head, in his skull. So he's got the incantation from the incantation bowl that originally had trapped the demon tattooed on his head. And you know, it's kind of metal, but also kind of rough. And you know, now he's here, back home, living with his dad.
Slayer rules.
That's the theme of this series so far, is Slayer rules. And you can follow me at JexJThomas on Twitter or on itch.io, where you can buy this game, Bump in the Dark, and you can find the Gauntlet at gauntlet-rpg.com. So just a brief recap. Last time, everyone was approached by the stranger, who told Dale particularly that the door that had been opened was still open and needed to be closed. Some stuff came through, some strange little creatures. The Pact did some investigating, talked to some fun and memorable characters, and ended up at the site of a tear in the veil. They managed to push the creatures back through the veil, and Harold saw a strange man up in a tree. We'll certainly come back to that, I'm sure, but we're going to fast forward in time just a little bit to the next morning, or maybe even a couple mornings after that. But before we do that, could we briefly just go over what people's beliefs and drive are, and then if you have any conditions. So I'll just go across the bottom of the screen again. Dale.
Yeah, Dale Aberndorfer has no conditions. His beliefs are Mr. Havamaki and I must be a good example for these kids, and I fear that the supernatural could be anywhere. His drive is I will ensure the weirdos are safe and orderly.
Great, thank you. Junior.
Let's see. I have no conditions. If I do cool shit, Hope will think I'm hot. Keep Ontanoggin weird, just not end of the world weird. And my drive is I will make sure Gran is safe.
Great. All right. Hope.
My beliefs are as I believe that Harold really needs a friend, and I believe that magic gets out of control quickly. And my drive is I will keep the apocalypse I know from happening.
All right. And finally, Harold.
Yes. So my beliefs are Junior still sees the world through rose-colored glasses. Must protect him from tinting them darker. Supernatural is dangerous, but I am powerful. I will bend it to my use, and that is recently changed. It used to be supernatural is dangerous and powerful. I must destroy it or control it. So now I'm like I got to use it. And my drive is I will conquer the demon in my head.
Perfect. And I think you're the only one that had a condition so far, which was void touched, but you cleared that by making a reckless decision. If I remember correctly, you jumped out of the van. Was that what it was?
I jumped out of the van and like ran towards whatever these creatures were.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's say it's a couple mornings later, and okay, so Junior, you live on the like kind of outskirts of town, is that right?
Yeah.
And Dale, I know, lives in East Pine. Hope, you live with Hope Eames, is that correct? The two of you live together?
Why not?
Okay. I wasn't sure if you live together or not. Okay. And Harold, where do you suppose Harold lives?
I'm not sure exactly where. Oh, I think I did say. He lives. I think over. Like he lives with his dad. I think. Like near the mines.
Okay.
I'd say like if I'm looking at. I think his father's a miner. I think that was why I wanted out and why I don't go to the miners bar to the Gasping Canary. So I think like maybe I don't know up near the library or off over in that kind of little area south of the train tracks to the east of the mines where there doesn't seem to be any other landmarks.
Yeah. Okay. I think Hope. I think that you're it's breakfast time, and you're up and you hear sirens coming from outside, and quite a few, actually, quite more than is normal for Last Pine, I think.
You mean sirens like automobile sirens rather
Like,
than
yeah, like police sirens.
police sirens? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And probably also like a fire truck going past Hope's place towards kind of towards downtown. And 1 second. Yeah. And I think for sake of convenience, can we say that Hope lives, at least somewhat near downtown? Would that be okay? Yeah. And so yeah, you could even, if you look out the window or go you go outside, you actually can see that there are, gosh, probably like 5 squad cars. I mean, this is probably like the entire Pinewood County Sheriff's Department here, and a ladder truck outside of an antique store. There's quite the commotion. Do you do anything?
So not the bookseller, right?
Not the bookseller.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna trot up there and ask anybody what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what's happening?
Yeah, and I think I don't have a name generator up, but sort of a random townsperson. It's kind of like I think there was some kind of like break in, and then somebody tried like to start the place on fire. I don't know. This is weird. Like this sort of thing isn't supposed to happen here. Maybe in Sawyer Harbor, but here,
Not yet. I say under my breath.
kind of looks but doesn't say anything.
Yeah, I didn't say that. Did I say that out loud? Okay, never mind. Crap doodle. Hope doesn't swear. I'm going to phone somebody.
Okay. Yeah, who are you gonna call?
Who am I gonna phone? Who's gonna be at home?
I mean, I'm underemployed and probably hungover, but I'll be home.
Yeah, I'll phone Harold.
I think the phone rings a lot of times before I pick up. I'm like, hello?
Hey, Harold. Are you awake?
I am now.
There's a fire down at the antique store downtown, or there was a fire, and maybe a break-in, and it's weird.
All right. Let me pour some coffee down my throat, and I'll be there as soon as I can. Are you at the store now?
I dashed in to get to a phone. There's police cars all around it. I mean,
right,
more
I'll be there
than we have in Lost Pine.
I'll be there as soon as I can. Fast.
From other towns, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
We probably don't have that many police here.
Yeah, probably not that. I mean, like I think it's like the sheriff's department here, so it's like the whole county.
County.
But yeah, I think there's still probably, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Maybe call Michael too. Michael's not Michael's. Maybe call Dale too.
Michael, Dale, wake up.
And I'm like, on my way.
Michael, answer the phone.
Yes, Mr. Abendoffer speaking.
Mikey, we have a weird thing going on downtown at the antique store. Or at least it feels weird.
Hope?
Yes. I'm sorry, that was not obvious. This is Hope.
Sorry.
Did you ask somebody else? It's me.
Nope, that's cool. Antique store. Got it. I'll be there as soon as I can.
Yeah. I'm calling everybody. There was like a fire and maybe a break-in, and anyway, it's a big deal. It's way too big a deal.
Understood. I'll be there soon.
Yeah, and Hope, I'm curious. What is a detail that you notice at the scene that is sort of like pinging your paranormal sensor, right? Like what's something that you notice that feels like I mean, obviously this whole thing is weird. This sort of thing doesn't usually happen.
What's pinging is that you have several of the sheriff's deputies that are standing outside a doorway gawking into the building.
Mm-hmm.
They're just muttering to each other, and none of them have taken a step inside.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you actually see them kind of like talking in hushed tones, and you notice that the ones that are closest to the door, their hands are on their holsters.
Wow.
I assume you call Junior as well.
I call Junior, and then I'm going to head back up to the site and poke my head in and see what I can see.
Maybe I come rolling up on my bike.
Maybe you were already you were already around. I like that.
Running an errand for Fran, picking up some prescriptions.
I'm going to try and get a look.
Yeah.
I'll try and peek in a window or something.
Yeah. So the whole front of the building, I mean, it looks almost like it was firebombed or something, right? Like this whole like big front window, I think, is all broken out, and there's some signs of fire. It seems that the fire was mostly like contained to this like front area. And the cops are everywhere. I think you see probably the recognizable cops would be Deputy Dale, who's sort of this not known for being the brightest guy in the world. Very much think the similarly named character in Scream. I can't remember what his name actually is, but David Arquette's character.
He's good at getting cats out of trees.
Can we give the deputy a different name?
Oh yeah! Oh my
gosh! It's a little confusing.
Yes, no.
This is also my fault by accidentally calling Michael by his real name instead of his character name, and that set off a chain reaction that everyone.
This is how we undo it. We call him Deputy Mikey.
There we go. Deputy Mikey.
Full circle.
There. Deputy Mikey. He's Deputy Dale in the book. So yeah, Deputy Mikey, which is like even more of a I think the name is works. Yeah, he's real great at getting cats out of trees. And I think that Sheriff Joe Truss is around as well. And she's kind of goes up to the other officers and she's like, what are you doing? Get in there. And they're kind of like, you can't quite hear what they're saying. But you can try to get closer if you want.
I do.
What's that look like? How are you sort of dealing with the fact that there's cops crawling all over the place?
Well, they're not looking at me for one thing. Mm-hmm. So we'll start with that. It's like, oh, I'm covering this for the school newspaper.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is which makes no sense. But I'm hoping that they're busy enough not to attend to that.
Yeah. Just as a reminder too, you have a pretty good monstrous ability that could probably help. In this too.
Okay. You want me to use that? Fine.
That's up to you. I'm glad to let you go with I'm covering this for the school paper approach if that's what you prefer.
Okay, fine. All right. It's like, okay, there's too many cops. And okay, so I'm gonna take a step out behind a building and then go between.
Yeah. So push your luck, Mark 2 luck, and what's it look like when you just sort of disappear or step between timelines?
Well, if somebody were looking directly at me,
mm-hmm.
It looks like I step into a doorway that isn't there.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So in other words, so I just vanish as if I were passing behind an obstacle, except that there's nothing there.
Mm-hmm.
And then the camera can see me in very faint outline.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to, but a person would have to be staring right at it in order.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And who would be staring right at Hope? There's only one person I can think of who likes to stare at Hope, and that's Junior. Junior, have you seen Hope do this before?
I don't think so.
No, you don't think so?
No.
Yeah, so you watch as Hope steps into a door that isn't there and disappears.
What? That's so cool.
So then I'll sneak. I'll sneak in between the deputies. And get a look inside.
Yeah, I think you can.
I have to be very slightly visible, or else I couldn't see anything.
Mm.
So it's like I'm like a 1/10% in this in this timeline.
Yeah. Do you? I can kind of see it going either way. Do you think there's a role here?
I think there's a role unless somebody here has got paranormal senses up or.
I mean, not that we know of anyway.
Not that we know. In which case there wouldn't be a role anyway because it would be secret.
Yeah. So you managed to sort of move between these deputies and through timelines into the building. We'll come back to that in just a moment. Junior, what are you doing as you pull up and you watch Hope disappear?
I think I probably know the deputies and the sheriff a little bit, so I'm gonna roll right up to them and be like, "Hey, Fuzz, what's up? What happened? You know, that's quite a fire. Are you guys gonna put it out?"
And I think the fire's already out. Like I
Okay.
think that was the thing, right? Is that like the fire was actually out before they even got here. But yeah, it's still a pretty crazy looking scene. And I think yeah, Sheriff Joe turns to you, Junior, and is just like, how many times do I have to tell you? Don't call us the Fuzz.
Check. Got it.
What are you doing here, Junior?
I'm just picking up some stuff for Gran. I pat my backpack. You guys have any idea what happened? How the fire started?
You know, this really isn't safe. You should probably get out of here and get back to Gran.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. It's not very safe. You know, I hope are the other buildings around here safe? Okay, you think?
Yeah, it doesn't. Or I think here it's Deputy Mikey's like, yeah, the fire didn't spread, and she kind of like looks at him. It's like, come on, he doesn't need to know any of this.
All right, okay. So I'll kind of roll off, but I won't go very far because I'm a little worried about what happened there with I'm locking up on your character, Brandon. Hope, yeah.
Just think of what we don't have a lot of, and that's me.
So I think maybe just to push the action, maybe I'll try to like sneak my way in there and try to be careful, but also try to sneak in there, kind of follow her the way I thought she was going.
Yeah. And tell me a little bit what this looks like. Like, are you trying to sneak in through the back? Are you?
Yeah, maybe there's an alley or through a building into the side. You said it's about breakfast time, so there's probably people around.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at the map. Where would you say about this place is number-wise?
I think it's
Downtown
probably
somewhere?
Yeah, it's probably not terribly far from number 2, the Double Z Diner.
Okay.
I would say like maybe in this lot, in the map it looks empty between 2 and 1, somewhere in there.
Yeah, so maybe there's a back way I can kind of sneak around and kind of peek around a corner, make sure they're not looking, and then run to the other side of the street, try to work my way into the site.
Yeah, I definitely think this is risky. You could get caught doing this.
Sure.
But yeah. So is this a sneak? Is that?
Yeah, I have probably a sneak. I have one dot.
Okay. Are you going to push your luck, or do you want to here deal with the darkness?
Nah, I'm just gonna do it.
Okay.
Got one die.
Do you want some help?
Yeah, I would say this is a perfect time for Harold and Dale to roll up.
I think I just like screech up around the corner in my kind of loud car, which is not in very good shape. And I'm probably a person of interest. Just like the cops don't like me much. I imagine just like me pulling up in a place like this probably pulls their attention away, gives Junior a chance to slip away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like we almost could make a fortune roll to see if you have an active warrant for your arrest at this point. But no, yeah, that mark. Go ahead and mark a luck, and yeah.
Okay.
Junior, you can add a die to your roll.
All right. Am I ready? I think I'm ready. Here we go. Got a 6.
Nice, you do it. Yeah. So you're able to kind of sneak off into the alley. I think that's actually the hard part, is getting to the alley because there's all these cops around. But like once you're back there, you're able to kind of get in pretty easily. You actually notice that the back door is slightly ajar, and you're able to go in and I
think I'd probably call out like whisper voice, like, Hope, where are you? Are you in here? Hope. It's Junior. So yeah.
You hear shh in one ear.
What are you doing? And how do you go invisible? That's crazy.
Later. Let's find out what's going on here.
All right.
Yeah, and so the place has been tossed in the kind of in the back area where you are, Junior. I think it's sort of like offices. The fire did not reach back here, but you can see like their like filing cabinets were sort of knocked over, but it doesn't seem like those have been rifled through. But you can see like there's like a storeroom. Maybe it's like the office and storeroom are kind of connected, and it seems like stuff has been like all kind of gone through in the storeroom. Whoever was in here was looking for something. Hope up front. It's pretty much fucked, right? Like I think like the fire that was here it stayed kind of contained to this main room, but seemed to have really destroyed like a lot of stuff. But either of you are welcome to sort of look around and see if you're able to find anything, of interest. I think though the other thing that happens is, Hope, you had noticed that the police seemed afraid to go in here. And so far you haven't really seen or heard anything that would, seems like that should elicit that. And then you hear sort of a kind of a chittering sound, and the sound of something with many legs and kind of large, scrambling across the floor. But you if you turn to look, you don't see anything.
Eek. Yeah, cute dogs skitter and all the time. So somebody, it looks like there was a fire or a fire and explosion.
Probably more like an explosion, but contained to just this room.
Yeah. I don't really. Something or someone blew up in here. I mean, I'm going to see if I can figure out anything more.
Yeah. How do you want to go about doing that?
I've got a good eye for detail. So, and I think that's probably all I can manage here.
Are you wanting to study?
It's
an
a
action
study.
roll?
It's a study.
Yeah. So I think given the sound of the skittering, this is risky. You have 2 in study. Do you want to push your luck or hear a deal with the darkness?
What would be a deal?
There's not just one of whatever these creatures are. There's more than one.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Okay. All right. So that gives you an additional die.
You want a 4th die? You want me to help you out? Or are you good with 3?
The 3 seems good. Also, it's fictionally hard for you to help me out right now. I think.
Okay.
Without exposing yourself.
Go for it.
All right. Excuse me just a moment. Sorry, the dice roller's giving me some trouble.
Okay, so a 4. So on a risky 4, you do it, but there's one or more minor consequences or a major consequence. Um, well, let's talk about what you find first. You're kind of like digging through like the kind of I don't know, charred remains of whatever was in this room, and you you find kind of I think as you're well I guess let me ask this: are you looking for anything in particular?
Um, I'm looking for, well, the the veiled party here and something came through. So I'm looking for either strong evidence that took place, or even ideally what something that might have been associated with it. You know, might have helped it.
Yeah. So I think what you find it doesn't I feel like it doesn't quite click for you. But you can tell that it's significant is you find like these little seeds, like unburnt, right? Like they're kind of they're pods. I'd say they're probably like maybe as big around as a dime even, and sort of kind of brown in color. And it seems strange that if these were here when whatever happened, that they would have managed to make it out unscathed.
Right.
So I think the clues, strange seeds or something like that.
Yeah, I'll wrap a couple up in my
or pods.
I'll wrap a couple up and put them in my pocket.
Yeah. Harold, you've pulled up in your truck. I think we can assume Dale shows up not long thereafter. You get to the scene where there's a lot of police and this fucked up looking building. What do you do? You're muted, Jesse.
Dale, you drive a van, right?
Yeah, old VW van.
Yeah, that's right. So I walk up to the the sort of like front of your van, like to the window. I kind of like, if you haven't opened it yet, I kind of like knock on it. I imagine the cops are kind of like watching this. I think I say, Junior's bike is leaning on the curb over there. Hope called me. Have you see either of them?
No, but Hope called me too, and so that means they're probably already inside.
Got any ideas for getting in past the fuzz?
Just leave it to me, Mr. Havamaki. Shot cut to taking black blazer off a coat rack inside the van. Glasses come off, prescription sunglasses come on. And I think it's been a while since Agent Opperndorfer was with the feds in the paranormal division, but I don't think any of the local police know that. So he is about to go in and play the G-Man role that he has never had to do, actually, in the course of his job. He's an R&D.
Yeah.
He is going to do his very best field agent. This is now our jurisdiction. Please clear the area. The crime lab boys will be here soon. Thank you all very much for your service, but the feds will take it from here. And citing something like getting really obscure with the paperwork jargon, like, oh, this is jurisdiction JAS 52. a couple of blue forms, and probably like a green 86 as well. So unless you all want to handle that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, your official ID or badge and your smart business wear are zero load items. So yeah,
Mhm.
you have those, and I think you definitely look. I think you definitely look the part, and I think that as you go and try to convince the police to sort of that this is your jurisdiction, I think that you're actually in a steady position here. This is the best position that you can have.
Thank God. I wasn't expecting that, but I will take it. But yeah, this is definitely compel. I'm trying to get them to be
Okay.
obedient and respect the
Yeah.
chain of command.
Yeah, I think that I think that they're susceptible to this, right? They don't like it. No local law really likes this happening, but I think they are susceptible to it. So yeah, why don't you do you want any bonus dice?
I will definitely push myself.
Okay.
Spend 2 luck. And
Harold, are
then,
you helping in any way here?
It's a good question. I feel like I can only hurt here. Like if they see the fact that they even saw him associating with me, as they must have, like it can only hurt. I mean, I don't know. Do you have thoughts, Dale, for what I could do to help you out?
I could claim that this is part of an ongoing investigation that you are part of.
Yeah, I mean, I will like play act being your CI or something like that.
Yeah, totally.
If that's helpful, should that come up?
Yeah, we have a witness to a similar crime in another state. So this crosses state lines,
Yeah,
which makes it federal.
There you go.
Watching all those
I don't
cop shows
know.
paid off.
I don't know if they'll buy me as a snitch, but
Yeah.
I guess we'll see how the roll goes.
Yeah.
Awesome. I will take that dice. Gives me 4 dice. Hell yeah. Oh my God. For those listening at home, that's 3 3s and a 1.
Oh my.
Fortunately,
So-
you were steady.
Yes, but you do lose your advantage. You can press on by seizing a risky opportunity or withdraw and try a different approach. I think that you probably go right up to Sheriff Joe, and she's just like, it can't be that she doesn't buy it, right? I mean, like, you look the part, you have the badge. I think I think that I mean, part of it's like, I'm sorry, we were here first. And she's just kind of being a dick. And but then she sort of like looks over at Harold and says, he's with you.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm pretty sure I'd have to check. Mikey, could you go and radio in? I'm pretty sure we have an active warrant for Mr. Havermaki's arrest.
Do I hear that?
I think so. Yeah, you're right there. Yeah.
I said, what for?
Your 800th OWI.
I shut the fuck up. But I don't want to run and have them chase me, but I'm also not going to give them anything.
Yeah. So do you press on or do you try a different approach here?
Dale's gonna try a different approach as the flop sweat builds. He is going to kind of take the sheriff aside and be like, listen, I understand it's very unorthodox and such, but this person's a very important witness and might be able to ID the same sort of reagents that might have been used in what we were pretty sure is an arson case. And if it makes you feel better, connect with them somehow. So this less becomes everyone get out of here. This is our case to like, let's work together here
Mm-hmm.
and like you set up a cordon, you keep the civilians away until the lab gets here.
Mm-hmm.
Let's work together, and after all this is said and done, Dale is lying right now.
Mm-hmm.
You can have, I'll make sure Mr. Havamaki is delivered to your custody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Here's the thing. I think that this is maybe not how a deal typically works. But I think a deal here is that you can stay at steady position, but they're going to be trailing along. They're going to be with every step of the way.
This is like the sheriff specifically, the sheriff and the deputy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Dale takes that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So is this a connect here or sway or what's?
I mean, he was lying for most of that, so yeah,
Mhm.
this is sway.
Yeah, especially like lying about giving up Harold. I think. Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to push your luck?
Yes. So that's
It's a
2
short
dice.
series. Everyone can get Doom.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's 2 dice for me now.
Yep. But still in a steady position.
Yeah, that really worked well for me last time. Let's make sure I'm not rolling 6 dice here. All right, 3 and a 4. I'll take it.
Okay. Yeah. So you accomplish more than expected, but there's a minor consequence. So yeah, I think Sheriff Joe's just like Mikey, you go with them and keep an eye on Havamaki. And I think that the the sort of benefit of this being a steady roll is that it's just going to be Mikey and not Mikey and Joe.
Yeah.
I think the consequence. Let me just look at my list of stuff here. Is
I'll happily take exhausted because that felt exhausting.
yeah. You know what?
Player.
I should be pushing the conditions more, especially since that's one of the things that I'm trying to be playtesting here. So yeah, let's give you the condition exhausted unless you want to resist that.
Nah, that I'm good.
Yeah. All right. And yeah, so Dale and Harold and Deputy Mikey step in. I think that so I did not give Hope her consequence
Nope.
from that mixed success. So I think as you are examining or kind of like wrapping up these pods, you hear that skittering sound again coming from a room just kind of off to the side, and you feel a pull to go investigate it.
Well, I guess I do then.
Yeah. And you open a door to it's like a big utility closet or something, and you see a creature similar to the ones that you saw the other night. This big kind of almost like Vanta Black chitinous sort of creature that's sort of all strange angles and lots of pointy edges, and it looks at you, and you hear, I guess I want to call it a hiss, but it's like a hiss that's taking place inside your head only. And it's loud, and it's sort of rocking your skull a little bit as this thing sort of like rears up. What do you do?
Shit. I'm going to those things are fast.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to push another point of luck and step through the wall.
Okay. Yeah.
I was thinking an alternate thing.
I'm not going to outrun this thing. So I'm just diving through the nearest wall.
I was thinking alternately, if it would be interesting, I could. I'm pretty good at scramble. Maybe I jump forward and I slam that door shut and say, "Let's get the hell out of here."
Yes, do that.
You want to do that instead?
Do that instead.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So this is risky for sure. This thing is right here. If you don't slam this door shut,
Hope gets a eep.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you
So Junior, you hear Hope kind of gasp,
Mhm.
and you jump out, and you have 2 in scramble. Do you want to push your luck or make a deal with the darkness?
I think.
I spend the luck to give an extra thing
Sure, you want to do that?
because of my cry of fright.
Yeah. What's the I forget what you call it, but what's the darkest thing you can offer?
Making a deal with the darkness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, what's a good deal here? Well, I mean, I know what the deal is here is you can get Hope out of the way.
Hmm.
Don't do it.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. I'll take that. So I got
Okay.
2. I got 1 from Brandon. I got another one from that, so I'm up to 4.
Mm-hmm.
So if this works, we'll get Hope clear. So let's see. That's 4 dice. Roll. I got a 6 on that 4th
All right.
die.
And that magic
Yeah.
4th die there.
Yeah, yeah.
You're
Yeah.
about to blow it.
So you get well, why don't you describe what it looks like getting Hope out of the way, but maybe not not getting yourself out of the way quite.
Right. So I think like I jump forward, I slam that door shut, and I say, "Let's get the hell out of here." Hope and I start making our way. I think you said this is sort of like a back room. So we kind of push our way towards like the front of the house, like maybe there's a doorway there. She gets through, but then the thing jumps like it pushes me to the side. So it's between me and where Hope has gone. And maybe
Yeah.
Hope has gone out to where the other guys are coming in. I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds right. And I think since you rolled a success on this, it's just the one that's kind of jumped out at you. And yeah, Hope, you break out back into this main room where you were before, and now Dale and Harold and Deputy Mikey are here as well.
Tell Harold there's things in the closet.
Mikey just like looks like between the 3 of you, like, what the fuck?
Is Hope visible?
Yes, I am totally visible at this point.
What kind of things?
The ones from last night, and Junior's back there.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm just running in, kicking open the door. Right, the door shut behind you, right, Hope? If I remember that.
Yep.
Mhm.
I just like kick open the door and run in. And if I see the thing, I think I'm just gonna push my luck to imbue my hands with occult energy. And then which costs 2 luck, right? I have to push my luck, and then there's also the side effect. But do I get the other bonuses of pushing my luck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I do that, and then just like take a swing with this blue phosphorescent energy on my hands.
Yeah.
Would you like an assist?
Yeah, I would definitely take an assist.
Awesome. Because I have advanced awareness, so I can assist twice per hunt without paying luck.
Ooh, nice. What are you doing to assist?
Dale Oberndorfer, once he realizes what's happening, kind of might worry that it is these creatures they have encountered before, like dives next to Harold, and it looks like from like he's gonna get in there too, but no, he has like a marked my hunter's kit, and he takes out a stick of chalk, and he as
Oh.
quick as he can like draws like a minor sigil of like binding next to him to try to like hold the thing down while Harold does the punching thing.
Yeah. So this is definitely risky. Is this a wreck here?
Yeah,
Harold?
this is definitely wreck. I'm just trying to squash this thing.
Yeah.
I don't want to. Yeah. So that's 2 plus 2. That's 4.
Mm-hmm.
What do you say? It's risky.
Risky. Yeah.
Okay. And there was something else I wanted to ask you. I'll tell you. I'm giving you a string.
Okay. Oh yeah. Thank you. Okay.
That's fine. I don't fully understand exactly how those work, but I want to see them. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So, yeah, and that's 4 dice. Where are you, die roller? It's a lot of dice, right? That can't go too badly. And that's a 5.
All right. Yeah. So now,
I guess. I mean, here's a question: like, what is there? What's the physical advantage to? What's the advantage to? Well, I guess you'll tell me in the result. Like what I get? What's the occult energy getting me here? Is I guess a question I should have thought of before I did it.
Sure. I mean, I think with what these things are is like these weird void creatures. I think
Right.
it allows you to touch this thing at all.
Right. It's the thing that lets me even do this.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
that
Yeah.
makes sense.
And yeah,
Yeah.
I think you just you clobber this thing. And are you trying to just like beat it to death, or are you trying to get it into the binding circle, or?
I think I'm trying to get into the binding circle. I think
brother
like
was-
that was my original. I didn't come in with any thought except for that Junior was in danger. But I think like I pick up the vibe Dale dropped, right, by putting that binding circle down, and I'm like, like it's got to be through like it's I'm wrecking. I'm not like hunting, right? So this is not me like hurting it towards the thing, right?
Right.
I think what it's about is me like smashing its head, right, and then just like shoving it into that binding circle.
Yeah. Or can I kind of pitch something?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, like I could see Harold doing like a fucking pro wrestler pile driver or something here.
Yeah, sure. I don't think it's that like I don't think I'm that slick, right?
Okay.
Right. I don't think I have those wrestling moves. I really think it's just like brute, blunt force.
But like more of like rather than kind of like pushing it, like almost like picking it up and slamming it.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think I yeah, absolutely. I think it's like it's like, but I think it's like a smash into the wall kind of thing.
Yeah,
and then it's,
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you get it into the circle of binding.
Yeah.
The thing that happens here though is Deputy Mikey follows you in with his gun drawn, kind of now just sort of waving it around the room. What the fuck is going on here? What's going on? Who are you? What the fuck is that thing?
Can I resist that?
Yeah. Tell me how you do that.
I'm just like,
Smoke gun.
I think I say something along the lines of, come on, Mikey. I think I saw Mikey last night at the
last pint.
At the last pint. And he wasn't just drunk. I think he was. I think last night. Tell me if this is okay. If this is too much fiction I'm creating here, but I think last night was the night he finally decided to try those mushrooms that had been pushed on him.
Oh yeah, no, this is great. I love this.
And I'm like, Mikey, I don't know what you're talking about. I saw you last night at the last pint. Is everything like? Do you need me to talk? Do I have to? What's the bartender's name?
Mercy.
Sorry,
right?
Mercy. Yeah. I'm like, do I have to have Mercy call the sheriff? and tell her why you've been hallucinating on the job.
Okay, so your resist here isn't like stopping him from coming in here, stopping him from drawing his gun. It's like trying to convince him that what he's seeing is what's necessary.
Well, part of this is I kind of want to build some fiction that I have something on him, so
Yeah,
that
sure.
when the warrant actually comes down, right? That's some of what this is about, and I assume this is I guess a heart resist, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Unless it's mind, but I think it's heart.
it feels somewhere around like compel or sway to me, you know. So like I think that's
All right, so 2 dice.
Yeah.
And that's a 3. I take 3 stress, 3 luck.
Yeah.
Oof, this is rough, folks.
Yeah.
I think it's actually 4 in this game, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, you are correct. Yeah.
And when I fill my luck, do I take that other doom?
Yep.
All right, there's another one.
What does that look
Harold,
like?
you're gonna find a way to go out in a short
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is how I like to play these games. But
are you giving into your inner darkness, or do you hold off the darkness inside?
I think I'm holding off the darkness this time. I gave in last time.
Yeah. So I don't know what this looks like fictionally right here, but that gives you permission to take a final action with improved position before collapsing, being left for dead, or otherwise taken out of the scene.
Let's see what the next thing is. But I think tell me how the deputy responds.
Yeah, I think he sort of he still has the gun up, and he kind of like looks at you. He's kind of like slowly lowers the gun. It's like, what do you mean? That's not. And it's just like kind of shook.
Yeah, there's nothing. Yeah. I mean, I think we'll see what the fiction looks like. But I think the way I'm out of the scene, right, is that like I gotta bail before this warrant is served on me.
I think that.
I'm gonna come for Deputy Mikey.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just gonna put my hands on his hand. And I'm gonna gently, just holding onto his hand, put his gun back in his holster.
Mm.
And then I'm going to pat him on the shoulder and say, "Would you help me figure out something over here, Mikey? I'm trying to figure out where the fire started. You can help me." And then I'm just gently and just.
And I think he was kind of shaken enough by this that he just does that. I don't think that you need to convince him really.
Yeah. And I'm hope is being sweet and nice, like she.
And I'm gonna approach Dale and say, I'm gonna whisper to him, seeing all this out of earshot of Mikey. I'm gonna say, Dale, there's a second one. We see this creature in your magic circle, and there's a second one around here somewhere. I think we heard 2.
Yeah, I'm Dale. I'm out of you closet.
Understood.
My kid and partner found a rather large praying mantis outside, which are not native to Wisconsin.
They are now.
Yeah. So that was kind of cool.
Where in Wisconsin are you?
Milwaukee.
You're not so far.
Yeah.
Chicago.
Oh yeah, no, not at all. Cool. So that kind of like rebooted my brain. So where were we?
We had sort of dealt with Deputy Mikey and his understandable panic response to what just happened. And we have another weird chitinous creature on the loose, and I think Harold has a thing they can do.
Yeah, my next action is pumped up before I leave.
Yeah. And I will say too, just to call this out explicitly, like there is that like sort of back office and storage area that Junior was in, and is certainly possible that you could find some clues there.
But also, like, do we just want to study this thing for a clue?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, you have it in this binding circle.
Yeah. I can do it with my pumped up action if people want, or we can save that for something else.
No, that works for me.
Yeah.
Go for it.
So I like lean in, and I, with my sort of like still phosphorus hands, I have 0 in study, FYI. And so I'm open to a deal with the darkness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and I mean, I do think, thankfully, because of your improved position with this, this puts you in a steady position.
Okay.
But
if anyone wants to help me out, I'm kind of like poking, prodding, looking. Just trying to see if I can learn something about these creatures, where they're from. Like, again, I think we're like, there's a door. It's not clear, I think, both to Harold and to Jesse, right?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly what we're driving towards here, because like the stranger was telling us we need to close a door, and the other day we got close, but then we couldn't do it for whatever reason, right? And now and there are these creatures running around, and we guess we have to get them back through the door or banish them somehow or something. Maybe before we close the door. I'm just saying things now, right? But I think I think Harold is just like not entirely. I'm sort of putting something together. I don't know where Harold is in any of this. I don't know.
I want to just say something else, because I think that I want to take accountability for, like, I feel like I think I could have set this hunt up better. There is something else that came through that door, and what happened here is related to that.
Got it.
I think
Okay.
that's something that's easy enough that like would. I mean, obviously these things are here. That means that it's related.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I guess all I'm saying is that I think Harold is still in the phase of the investigation where there's an open door and some weird shit, and like what exactly the connection is and what we're supposed to do. Like, do we kill the weird shit and close the door? Do we get, like, all of those questions? I imagine we've been having these conversations over the past couple of days without a lot of clarity.
Right.
Would be my guess, right?
Yeah.
Maybe spinning ourselves in circles over it. So I'm like poking and prodding it, and I don't know exactly what I'm looking for. I'm probably like whispering to Dale and Junior as Hope is distracting Mikey. And if either of you want to help me, I would take it. But if not, I can just roll.
I'll help you. I'm trying to think how I do it. Maybe I'm handing you things out of my hunter's kit.
Sure. That works for me. And I imagine we're like talking through what we're seeing, also, right? Like there's a conversation happening here.
He goes. I say. It kind of looks like something from a Megadeth cover.
Yeah.
I don't know if that helps or not.
I'm gonna roll 1d6.
I gave my help. You just
got
with
me
my
up
help,
to
you still only
one.
got. Oh, I see. All right.
Yeah. All right.
In a steady position.
Yeah, in a steady position, you accomplish more than expected, but there's a minor consequence. I think. So, like, the first thing that you notice about this thing is that it's kind of hard to look at, right? Like, I sort of described it as kind of almost being like Vanta black in color, right? Like it's sort of like it pulls in light, like it doesn't look natural to look at it. It's you've touched it. It has this very sort of chitinous is definitely the word for it, but almost like it almost feels like plastic. It almost feels like it should be fragile. But you slammed this thing around and it didn't like break, right? So it's like properties are strange. I think the other thing you notice though, like in sort of in the phosphorant glow of your your glowing hands, I think we get a cutaway of Mikey being like to Hope, like, are his hands glowing? But you notice that its shadow just seems too long. And I think that's the clue here is too long shadow.
Cool.
Um,
I think I'm like looking at Mikey, sort of like looking back at me, or maybe Mikey even gets a phone call here, or like
Yeah.
or on his walkie, and I kind
Yeah.
of like when he's distracted back by Hope, I kind of just bail.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you can dodge out the back exit, and yeah, we get Mikey on the walkie. He's like, no, Joe, everything's fine. Don't worry. Oh no, we weren't yelling. It was just no, it's fine. We're good. And I think Mikey actually turns to Dale at this moment, kind of now recognizing you as the authority here. So what's going on? What happened here? Was it arson like the other one?
Yep. That is what we believe. Absolutely, Deputy hit the nail on the head there. We're just going to wrap up. So if you want to report in with the sheriff, and I'll give you the okay to bring your men back in, you can start cleanup, okay?
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. All right. Does not know how to act towards a federal officer. And I
Dale
think
fully
he
does the salute back before he realizes that. Yep, sure.
Yeah, and I think he walks out, and I think that you know that you have a couple minutes before he's going to be back with other fuzz, other cops and firefighters, presumably, or cleanup crew or whatever. There's still this sort of back office and storage room that you can try to find things in. There's also potentially, well, you're pretty sure another one of these creatures around somewhere. So what do you want to do?
Pretty sure Dale wouldn't feel good leaving here with that other creature still able to go around.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we're going to be able to do much against it. I mean, Harold's the one that can hit things, but yeah, I agree. I don't think we should leave that thing around in town like this. Well, who knows what it might think. Pretty dangerous.
And I think as you're talking, you hear something kind of scurry in that back room.
Maybe we can set up a trap and like lure it out or something.
Yeah, I think Dale provides we've got one here. If we can lure out the other one, I can expand the ritual circuit to capture the other one and buy us some time with the cops. And hopefully once we figure out what's happening and close this door, then maybe they'll go away. I have a theory.
You guys brought Mikey in?
We didn't want to, I hope.
He's going to have nightmares for a week.
Yeah, well.
We're just lucky he thinks he didn't see what he actually saw. Okay, we got to get rid of this other thing. Now, quick.
So I'll say, I'll look at, into each of their faces, and I'll have sort of a slight smile, and I say, well, I guess I'm probably the quickest. Maybe I should be the one to lure it out here. Let me know when you're ready, Dale.
Yeah, Dale gets out the chalk and getting as close to his original symbol without going as near the creature as he can. Is tracing it works like a circuit, I think. So he's trying to get one power source to get to another one.
That's really cool.
And I say, okay, just put it here, and points at the spot, and should be okay.
Yeah. So, Junior, what are you doing here? What's this look like?
I think what I'm going to do, we got to. It sounded like it was upstairs. Is that what you said?
No, it's like there's this
another room
where you came in, right? There was this back office and then kind of like a supply room or like kind of small. Not really. It's not big enough to be a warehouse, but there's unshelved antiques back there and things like that. It sounds like it came from
this
there.
room, and when you open the door, he's going to come out.
Right. So I think what I'm going to do is, I think you saw this in a movie or something. He's going to like put like a rope in front of the door so that when it comes out, it'll trip over the rope. And then he's going to bang really loud on the door and push the door open and then run back and try to draw it over into Dale's trap. That's the plan.
Okay. This feels desperate to me. Is that
Sure.
what action are you using here? It sounds like,
Probably scramble. Move
yeah.
quite skillfully and quietly. Use. Oh no, I'm looking at the wrong one. Move or act quickly, run out of danger or into place. Sounds about right.
Yeah. I think this is desperate. You have 2 in scramble. Do you want to push your luck, make a deal with the darkness?
Yeah. First of all, does anybody want to help?
Yeah, I'll give you my other advanced awareness for like setting this up.
Sure. So it takes me to 3. I think my luck's not bad. Seeing how Jesse's burning it like it's the end of the world, I might as well burn a couple. So I'll take myself to 4 dice.
All right.
I think that's probably good, right? Oh,
We'll see.
Yeah, that's good. When does plot armor regenerate, by the way?
Between hunts, so like during downtime.
Gotcha.
All right, here we go. We got 6.
Hey, yeah. Gosh, so what does this look like? So you do this, and I think when you get in there, you see this thing kind of right away, and you can tell that you weren't supposed to see it because it kind of like moves into the shadows very quickly and almost sort of like disappears. And it looks very different than these other creatures you've seen so far. It is more humanoid in shape. This kind of like tall, slender figure that seems to be made out of the same stuff, but is actually wearing, looks like clothes, like sort of like dark clothes with like a dark veil over its face, and it has a face. It has eyes. It has eyes that are glowing emerald green. And you, as you sort of run back out, I think what happens is it dives at you. I think it had crawled or like kind of climbed up on top of a box and then just sort of like dives out. But you were expecting this, and you were able to kind of get out of the way. And you, someone probably has to kind of like wrestle it into the circle. But you've captured this creature that looks it's a sort of kind of feminine figure, and she talks, and she says, "What have you done?"
Just trying to keep everybody safe.
You don't want to mess around with this boy.
I'm not a boy.
Well, she's looking at Junior.
You're right, I don't, but somebody's got to stand up for our community, right?
Why are you here?
To retrieve what's needed.
What do you need?
And I think she pulls it from under her dress, and I will say that you can have this as a clue, but to actually get it from her, you would have to do something. But it's some sort of like let's call it it's a ritual dagger, and it's kind of like this like smoky, partially partially translucent stone. It's this smoky ritual dagger, and she holds it and she says, "To pierce, to cut," and puts it back.
Just a wild guess. We need that to close the doors between dimensions or realities, or right? I mean, I'm going to take a chance here. I'm going to assume that maybe maybe you're not so bad, and we're just trying to help everybody. We're trying, we're just some regular folks trying to get things back to normal. Maybe we can work together.
And when Emerald laughs, it's a very disconcerting sound.
Okay.
It sounds like if the wind blowing through the trees were laughing. And did you say all of that about we need that to like close it up or whatever?
Yeah,
Did you say that out loud?
theorizing. Yeah, opening up.
Yeah.
Trying to I was trying to trigger my move, but maybe it's impossible here.
Oh, yeah, I think it's impossible with
Okay.
a creature that is not of this reality. But I think she does say something to the effect of you fool, this is not for closing, this is for opening only. How did you? And she kind of like looks like a mime almost, like kind of trying, like slamming against this invisible barrier. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Michael.
Yeah, I think Dale kind of like knocks on the other side of it. There's like a weird like crystalline clanging.
Mm-hmm.
It's just good old fashioned Federal Bureau of Pattern Magic, nothing fancy. But I think I've heard everything I need to. And kind of like turns to Hope and says, but if we're going to put a close to this, I think we need to make sure Harold's okay.
Yeah, but what are we? I don't know what to do.
That's all right. I think I do. How about this? How about you go find Harold and we meet back here and we see if we can put everything back in order.
People are coming soon.
Yeah, and I think you actually probably hear like people coming in through the front door right as Hope says that.
Yeah, I think Dale goes and sees who's coming in.
Yeah, it's Sheriff Joe, and I think Mikey is not coming back in with her. But Sheriff Joe and a couple of the other deputies, and probably like a couple of firefighters, and maybe like the sort of chief or whatever it would be, looking around, kind of saying like I don't know, just like kind of trying to come up with theories of like what happened here, and yeah, we'll definitely have to get a cleanup crew in here. And did anyone call the owner? Has anyone talked to Mr. Flowers? And yeah, I think so far, like if you kind of peek out, no one's coming to this back area yet. They're much more interested in the area where this fire took place. But you definitely know that you can't keep these two creatures bound back here indefinitely. I mean, unless you have a way of like actually like hiding them or something too.
That screens Dale's abilities, maybe. Yeah, like Dale, the character, and Michael, the person, are trying to like create space for us to make the theory roll and deal with this.
Yeah.
So I think Dale is going to try once again to like run point and try to like buy them time to get together and figure out what's happening and like close this. But like we also kind of have to stay here to mind these things now.
Yeah. Jax, I'm going to try and I don't know, figure this thing out by looking at her, talking to her, or whatever is appropriate.
Yeah.
I need a hint.
Yeah. What are you trying to figure out?
I'm trying to figure out. I mean, presumably she was the one who broke in here, right, to get this.
This seems like a fair assumption.
Yeah. So first off, is she going to do more breaking?
I mean, right now she's bound in, in
No, I understand. I understand right now she's bound. But if left to her own devices, she would be doing more breaking.
I think I think it's, based on the interaction with Junior, it's very safe to assume that she is not a malevolent force.
Right. And especially she stole something that opens things, which is bad.
Mm-hmm.
So
let me ask this.
What's a weakness?
Can I ask a question? Maybe it sounds like the thing that you're reaching for, Hope, is like the thing that we can do by rolling the showdown roll, by answering the showdown questions, coming up with a theory, and doing the showdown roll.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe I don't know how I get reintroduced here exactly. Maybe I don't, but I can, as a out of character, I can at least be part of the conversation. We can figure out.
Yeah, I don't know how the showdown rolls work really. So.
Yeah. So I mean that's okay. So I think we can we can hand wave if we want. Like for right now, like the people are staying in the other room. So you have the time and space to talk right here. If someone wants to go and try to find Harold, and Harold is willing to come back, even though there's cops everywhere, you can do that. Or if Harold,
I kind of just rather. I don't think it makes sense for Harold to come back now. I'm happy to just be part of the conversation, kind of on the meta level, out of character. If other folks are okay with that, but if you want to have the conversation in character badly enough, I can flex with that.
Yeah, and this is definitely like the way the showdown roll is kind of intended is that, it can be either in character or out of character. It's not like Brindlewood Bay where it's meant to be in character necessarily.
Right.
So why don't you all list out the clues that you found, and we'll talk about how the showdown roll works.
Yeah, I can read those. Long human femur carved with glyphs/symbols, which is referred to as a key. Coordinates where the veil is thinnest in Iron County. Mutilated guardians of the lodge. Strange brown seeds/pods. Chitinous creature shadows too long for their body. Smoky ritual dagger.
Yeah. Make sure there wasn't anything else that I had written down that you'd found. And nope, that looks like everything. Yeah. So when you develop a working theory or are ready to talk out a working theory, an approach to dealing with the situation, you make the showdown roll. So you're going to take one die for each question you're able to answer using at least one clue. You can use the clues to answer multiple questions, but they only count towards your dice pool once. So the same clue can answer multiple questions, but only gives you one die. So there's 3 questions. What is the creature or phenomenon? What does it want, or why is it here? And what is its weakness, and how can it be contained or dealt with? So what is this thing? What is the stuff that's happening? So there's no like canon answer here, right? Y'all as players get to answer these questions and decide what the answer is. And depending on how you roll, right? If you roll well, then your answer is correct. If you roll poorly, then maybe it's partially correct or maybe it's completely off base. But so there's no canon answer to this mystery. There's no canon solution.
I mean, this one, what are these creatures? These are entities from a different plane that are breaking into this one. We call them strangers. But they're from another realm, probably not too dissimilar to this, of intelligent and unintelligent people.
And the clue there is chitinous creature shadows are too long for their body. Maybe
That's right.
that
They're from a realm of darkness, and the reason their shadows are too long for their body is that they're projecting. Is basically we're seeing their shadows vis-a-vis their sun, not ours.
Mhm. That's cool.
I like
that's
that.
badass.
And
Any
their sun's always low.
additions or
Their sun's always low in the sky. It never doesn't rise very far.
Yeah.
It's like vibration.
any additions or any suggestions for changes?
I have a thought for the explain question.
Okay. Yeah. What do they want?
I mean, they want to open doors. I think it's those. I think this is. I don't know if there's like well.
I
I don't think there's like a single clue but I think it's the mutilated guardians of the lodge and the coordinates where the veil is thinnest, right?
Mhm.
Like they came through and destroyed, the beings whose job it is to keep those doors shut, or at least to guard the doors from what will come through and keep them shut, and that's what they're here to do, and that's how we can sort of tell.
Yeah. Do you have a sense of why they want to open doors?
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe it's connected to I think it's connected to what Hope said a second ago, right? It's this desire to have their world and ours bleed together ultimately for them to come through.
I'll add a detail here, and this is completely made up. Their world's used up. Their world's considerably used up, and ours is still relatively green as these things go. Soon their sun will be out.
Yeah. I love that idea of the sun sort of setting like that. It's not that it's setting in like a because of a normal orbit or whatever. It's because the sun is dying out. That's cool.
So they're breaking through here basically to use the either to come here altogether, bust down the walls entirely and migrate here to this world, or even or simply to tap the energy of this world, which would destroy it.
Okay. Any other elaborations, suggestions for that question?
Those seeds are evidence, I think. That they're half dead.
Okay.
The reason that they're strange brown things is that they are that they've adapted to a certain degree to working in darkness, but it's not healthy.
Okay. And so what is their weakness, or how can they be contained or dealt with?
Well, Harold's fists seem to do pretty good. And then they could be contained by the magic circle, apparently.
But as far as clues go,
clues wise, yeah.
Well, and also that seems like a more temporary solution.
Well, no, the weakness, their weakness is that they don't have any native ability to break through on their own.
Okay.
Is that the stranger used a key, and Emerald here was also trying to get an artifact to break through with, but they have, someone must have gone to their world and left behind something or some things that allowed them to get through, because they have no ability to do this on their own.
Okay.
So they're dependent on stolen technology, magical technology, in order to do it, and without that, they are trapped.
Michael, what were you going to say?
Something along the similar lines, because we have access to at least one of these keys. The way they can be stopped is once the door is closed, because they are coming from a different place in a very multi-dimensional sense. They it's not like us where if you close the door we can stay in the room. In this case, if you close the door, they have to be on the other side of it. So it's kind of like this weird physics thing where like their energy is unstable here, and so long as those doors are open, they can stay here. But the minute they're shut, something essential is cut off.
So how do you shut them?
Put the key in the lock.
Okay.
Not quite sure what that looks like, but
all right. Was there a specific clue that was tied to that third question?
The bone
hadn't been used. The bone. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's three dice. Who wants to roll it?
Not
Go
it.
ahead, Michael.
No. Okay. Fine.
You do.
I think you should the best down roller, but
3 dice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Come on. Let's do this. No. I told you. It's a 3,
All right.
1, and a 2.
So yeah, on a 3, your theory is full of holes or your approach isn't well considered.
No.
The keeper may invite you to work together to determine why your answers were wrong or what the truth really is, or show you in play. When we cut to the action, you start in a hopeless position and something has already gone wrong. So here's the first thing that happens is Emerald takes after kind of pushing up against this barrier, takes the dagger and cuts into it and walks out of it. The other thing that happens, I think she just sort of stands there in front of you, Dale, and kind of smiles, and then you see that she sort of looks over your shoulder. Do you turn to look at what she's seeing?
Oh yeah, Dale's a huge mark. He looks.
Yeah, and you get slammed in the face by this. No. That's not actually you. Don't get slammed. What happens is you watch as this sort of darkness that sort of has a vaguely human shape, but it's more of like a shadow, kind of moves toward you and through you and enters you. And you can take Void Touched as this creature tries to possess you. You are in a hopeless position, so you can resist that if you would like. Or someone else can resist on Dale's behalf. I think you all see this happen. This shadowy creature entering Dale, trying to possess Dale. What do you do?
What do you think, Michael? You want to try to resist it?
I'm tempted not to, but I think I will actually.
Okay. So what's that look like?
I think Dale holds on to some. There's definitely a crucifix. I'm going to mark my occult or holy relic. Dale's the kind of person that wears a lot of different religious ceremonial necklaces, just in case.
You have to
Yep.
run through them, yeah.
And his time at the Bureau showed him there's great power in ritual, whether that be reciting prayers or doing certain actions. And so this is Dale falling back on all of his Bureau paranormal safety training. Trying to remember the pamphlet on possession specifically that he had to study to ward off this thing's essence.
Yeah. So what attribute are you resisting with?
This feels more like heart. This feels like will than intellect. Yeah.
Okay. Well, since you are void touched, you have disadvantage to all heart actions and resisting with it.
Okay.
So yeah, you'll roll heart and then just cut the highest die.
Cut the highest. All right, so roll 3
Mhm.
dice because I've been rolling so well. And cut the highest. Okay, well, the highest was a 6, but the
Okay.
second highest was a 5.
Okay. All right. And just give me a second. I always forget what the numbers are for this. So on a 5, you mark 2 luck.
Still in the game.
All right. And yeah, what's this look like? Like, tell me like, show me what this looks like. What do we see on screen? You fighting off this possession.
Yeah, so this shadowy figure intersects with Dale's body, and Dale's hand shoots to underneath his clip-on tie, and there's like an X-ray, like, you know, VFX shot. We zoom in under the cheap polyester to see like the various religious symbols starting to glow, and shoots back, and the shadowy form kind of exists in superposition with Dale, and then kind of in the way like these things have been like vibrating and shifting weirdly when we look at them, gets much more violent as it becomes obvious it is really struggling to hold this position, and this kind of like is ejected on the other side with like a force, like magnets that are like repelling each other basically.
Yeah, and I think it's it's sort of ejected out, and you see it as it sort of like, you know, kind of the shadow sort of like quickly moves and leaves the room, and I think that Emerald kind of looks around at y'all, and you hear that laugh again, and does like a really cool anime-ass jump over the three of you, and makes to run out. You can try to resist that if you want to try to stop her from leaving, or you can let her go.
Yeah, I think I'll try to resist that. I think I don't know if this is a necessarily resist. The idea I have is that I'm gonna try to grab that when she's distracted messing with Dale. I'm gonna try to grab the dagger out of her hand, and I will run up. I'll run out of here.
You read my mind, Junior.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. Yeah, yeah. I think we can count that as a. I mean, since you're in a hopeless position, you have to resist to act at all. So I think that this can be a resistance here. What that sounds like body. Is that what you were thinking?
yeah, that's probably the best fit. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's 2 dice.
Mm-hmm.
And is there any pushing or anything on
not on resistances?
Just straight up. Okay.
Right, since they're automatically successful.
Okay, here we go. I got a 6.
All right, so you don't mark any luck.
None at all. Okay, great.
None at all.
Or is it just 1? Is it on a crit that you don't mark 1? Oh no, you lose 1 on a crit.
Yeah, you clear a luck on a crit.
Okay. Okay,
yeah.
Great.
Yeah. So is what happens here then? She gets out, but you have the dagger.
Right.
Okay.
And I'm like, let's get the F out of here. Head for the hill. Head outside.
Yeah. And we'll try to, like, you know, kind of move fast for this last little bit, I think. But Harold, where did you go?
I think I'm just kind of like lurking nearby. And I think even like once I see that the rest of the cops went in, I think I'm just kind of like watching. I guess the front. Watching and listening to see like if my folks come out one or the other door. You know, kind of like hanging out in the next door alley, sticking my head around one corner, sticking my head around the other corner.
Yeah. I think this is kind of contemporaneous with, like, you know, like we'll back a little bit. And as you're sort of standing there waiting, you hear a buzzing sound like the buzzing you heard when you were at the tear in the veil. And if you look over, you see the figure that was in the tree, who will now give a name, Mr. Heap.
Mr. Heat?
Heap.
Oh,
yep.
Mr. Heap. What do you want? You were no help last time.
And his voice sounds like the buzzing of a million insects, like kind of coming together to make, you know, a vocalization. He says, I wonder if we could help each other out.
I just like spread my hands, Invitation.
Yeah. I know that you've and kind of actually like walks up and like taps your head, and it feels basically like a fly landing on your
Yeah,
head.
I'm trying to like smack his hand away before it gets there.
Yeah.
I'm picturing it's like a fly. It's like too fast, right? I'm just like,
Yeah. Well, what actually happens is it's like you're trying to swat a bunch of flies all at once,
Yeah.
and they kind of like move around, right? And I think you only
fucking
like
hate
one
this.
kind of.
hate this.
Do you want to?
No. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. Harold hates this.
Okay. Yeah.
Jesse's digging it.
So okay. And I think like one of the flies like still kind of like lands on your head, but then kind of buzzes off. And I know that you carry someone with you. In my line of work, that would be beneficial to have someone who can act as a mule of sorts.
I'm not a shuttle service.
I'm just saying that if you wanted to help us move things between places, I'd make it worth your while.
How?
What do you want most, Harold Havamaki?
What do I want most? To own my passenger.
I might be able to help with that.
Feels like what you're asking me to do just undermines that more than anything else.
I see your point, but I mean, to make room for new passengers.
Keep on opening and closing windows. Eventually, something's going to get out.
Think about my offer, Mr. Havamaki. You don't have to make a decision now.
I'll think about it.
Yeah, and I think as you're saying that, the swarm of insects rise, and left on the ground where they were is a trench coat and a hat.
I think I pick up the hat and put it on.
Nice.
Maybe like wipe out some dead bugs.
Yeah. And I don't know, unless anyone has some last plans for how you might still be able to go and close one of these doors. I mean, I know you have the dagger now. I don't know, is this where the hunt ends, just not successfully, or do you want to push it a little bit further and try to do something?
Well, I think my theory is that if we go to the Moonlit Lodge at, when the moon is out, then that door will be there, right? But I don't know if we really know how to close it at this point.
No, I think
we need two parts of a key, and we only have one, right? As far as I know.
Yeah, and it's also I think this is I think this is a setback.
Yeah, it's probably
I think we haven't figured out the solution to this problem
yet. Yeah. Okay.
I'm good with leaving these things out in the world, these doors open. I think that makes for an exciting last session next week.
Yeah. Okay. Well, why don't we take a 5-minute break, and then we'll go into downtime, and I'll have to think about how downtime is going to work if you weren't successful on the hunt.
How are you feeling? Just want to check in there.
I'm feeling okay. I mean, I don't know. So how's everybody else doing?
Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, why don't we I guess be back at 3 after?
Okay.
All right. All right. So, I think I figured this out. I think that the way this works, after the hunt ends, there's a fallout phase where successful hunts generate bond, which is an abstract representation of your relationship to the people of Last Pine. You earn 2 bond per hunt by default as long as the hunt was successful, and 1 additional bond if you impressed an important NPC or took space and care to treat regular folks well. If you didn't succeed or the monster got away, you earn 0 bond. But I think that because you got that knife, I think that is successful enough. Yeah, the monster got away, but also it's not going to be opening any more doors right now. So I think that you get the 2 bonds. You can mark that on the packed sheets bond tracker. And the other thing, and here's where a big experimental thing that we're going to try is a different approach to downtime, based on something that Justin Ford has been playing around with Mothlight and some other stuff that he's been working on. We're also going to use these to give you downtime dice that you can then spend on downtime activities. So you each can roll. You take up dice equal to earned bond. So you each can roll 2 dice. And then the results of those 2 dice you will use to spend on downtime activities. So go ahead and roll those, and you can let me know what you got, or hold on to it, or whatever.
Is it like 1 to 3 is 1, and 4, 5 is 2, and 6 is 3, or something like that?
So yeah. So wait. No.
Is this how many downtime items things we get to do? Is that
No. So what this is you'll actually be, so the result of this roll, so of each individual die. So let's say you roll a 4 and a 1. You can then use that 4 to say, like, okay, I want to acquire an asset and I'm going to spend the 4 on that one. So then it's like as if you had rolled a 4 for that activity. And then the 1, you're like, well, I'll use the 1 on quelling alarm. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah.
Yep. It's like we're pre-rolling the dice we would roll.
Exactly. Yeah.
Do we each roll independently, or do we roll for the
Yep,
whole
you
group?
each roll independently. Yeah.
Okay.
So each of you can roll 2 dice
Okay.
that you'll then spend on downtime activities. And then downtime can be primarily free play, with the activities sort of peppered in there as well. So I'm curious what folks want to do, if there's any scenes that people have in mind or want to play out, either for downtime activities or aside from downtime activities. I'm all ears. I am open to whatever folks want to do.
I have a free play scene I would like as well.
Yeah.
Let me roll my 2 dice first, but this can happen whenever. I would like to have a quiet moment at some point with Deputy Mikey, where I lean hard on the deputy to make that warrant disappear.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
We filled our bond track, so it says we increase our power by 1. Is there something?
Oh, it should be trust. Yeah, sorry.
Oh,
It's
trust.
increases.
Okay.
Where does it say power?
If you hover over the word bond.
Oh, okay. Okay. So it's in the character keeper.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll fix that. Yes, that should be your trust.
Okay. And the next question is, what does trust do for us?
Yeah, so great question. So trust is sort of the goodwill that the community affords you. So it does a couple of things. One, the higher level of trust with the people of Iron Country, the more likely it is that they'll have your back. The other thing that it does, the sort of mechanical piece, is it's your pack's primary trait. So if you ever need to roll like a fortune roll or something based on the pact. You'd be rolling with the trust, and your trust also determines the quality of your allies. So your allies' quality is always equal to your trust. So or your trust plus 1 rather. So Migwan, her quality actually would go up to 2 now that you've leveled up your trust. And then it also sort of is used as a guide to help the sort of season pacing, so to speak, like the campaign pacing. When you advance in trust is when I would advance or tick the void clock or the conspiracy clock, the sort of background thing, which obviously isn't going to come up as much in a short series, but
Sure.
okay. Any other ideas for scenes, or if folks have
Yeah, and then I have a long-term project I want to work on, probably with both of my dice. But
both of them, okay.
Yeah.
I have just a quick reducing. I'm not sure what it's called, but the reducing your luck scene with my grand.
Oh yeah, seeking solace.
Seeking solace. Okay.
Yeah. I actually can I actually ask a question? So I know some of these downtime activities cost a beat.
Oh, that will no longer be the case.
Okay.
Yeah, so that I didn't put that in the playtest rules that are in the folder. But yeah, the spend a beat downtime activity no longer exists. And so those I haven't quite figured out how to work the sort of advancement scenes yet.
Got it.
But,
or what about cutting loose, like some of this other?
Yeah, so those like the beat ones are all. I mean, I guess technically you still spend a beat to do it. That's so when your XP track is full,
right,
you get a beat.
But it's not also going to cost me. I'm not going to have to roll and use one of my downtime dice.
Correct. Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Then I'm not going to stress about it.
Cool. Yeah, you can kind of treat it like a free play scene, or I have to rework that a little bit.
Got it.
If this version of downtime ends up, making its way into the book. But yeah, if anyone has full XP, take a look in the book at the beats and advancement scenes. Those are your options for what you can spend that XP on.
Mostly I'm going to at the beginning of next session, so if I need to do it during downtime, I wanted to just or use those dice or whatever. I just wanted to see what the deal was.
Yeah. Okay, so Harold wants the scene and also long-term project twice. Anybody else have a scene you want to do, or what you want to do with Jason? You were saying Junior is going to seek solace. That seems like a good place to start, probably.
Yeah, and similar to I think what Jesse was saying, I'm anticipating I'm going to get an advancement at the end of this session. So I don't know, maybe since we only have one more session, maybe it would be best to turn that into a beat, and then you kind of roll that into a scene then.
Yeah, that's fine.
To get the advancement.
Yeah,
I have an advancement in mind.
Yeah. I mean, if it's definitely the case that you're gonna fill your XP track, then I think that's
I'm just one away.
That's fine. Yeah. Do you know what you want your second downtime action to be? Or activity rather? Okay. Hope, do you know what you want to do?
I do, yeah. I want to seek solace too, and I'm specifically talking to Hope.
Okay. Dale, any ideas what you want to do?
Yeah, I'm gonna seek solace, and I think that's it for me.
Okay. And for Harold, just so you know, if you don't seek solace, you will mark luck equal to your marked doom.
Right. I mean, but I have zero luck. I have zero luck right now. So if I seek solace, I will also hit a snag, and might as well take the 3 luck. Why?
Sure.
Or
3
luck hit. Why?
Yeah.
Why? Use a die and and hit a snag.
Sure. Yeah. And with seeking solace too, if folks want to clear their luck without having to spend a die, you can just take a snag. as well, or instead. Let's start with Junior. I kind of we'll see where it goes, but I kind of maybe like the idea of ending on this scene with Mikey. We'll see where things go, but let's start with Junior. So you're seeking solace. So describe how you seek solace and say who, if anyone, is with you.
Yeah. So, like I said, I'm going to kind of try to roll this. Tell me if I'm breaking the rules or something, but I'm going to try to roll this into my advancement. So I think we see after the events of our hunt, I'm riding home in like a driving rain in October, up in
Mm-hmm.
northern Midwest. It's cold and miserable.
Mm-hmm.
And, he's got probably some bumps and bruises. We quote unquote won, but it wasn't a clean win.
Yeah.
And he's riding this bike home in the rain, and he drives, he rides up to his Grand's house, and he kind of looks at the bike. He's like, fuck this, and it has a screen swipe, and then we see him. He's in the garage with his Gran, and they're both working on a vehicle. He's like all covered in grease, and like we don't see the vehicle, but like Gran says like, oh, it's ready. And we hear this loud motor, this roar, this throaty motor of this vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
And this is me hanging out with Gran, which is comforting for me. And it's also, I'm going to click Baby Driver tonight when I get that last experience point.
Yeah. Awesome.
Cool. And I guess I would use the 5 that I rolled.
Okay.
To reduce luck. Is that 2 ticks? Is that how? Is it work the same as if you were doing a resistance roll, or is it just the number you roll?
Nope. So you would reduce it by 5.
Oh, okay. So I'm all the way to 0. Okay.
Cool. I am excited to meet that car. Cool. Hope. So you're at Hope's place. Why don't you paint the scene for us a little bit?
Yeah. She's giving me a cup of tea because I'm not doing very well. I'm saying I knew she was going to get out, and I thought I could stop it this time. And then when it came right down to it, I didn't know what to do.
How much does Hope know about what's like? Does she have any sense of what you're actually talking about here?
I think that she doesn't. But
Yeah.
But on the other hand, she talks to me as if what I was saying was perfectly normal stuff.
Yeah, I feel like she
feels like she has to humor me, or not maybe even humor me, but rather she has to take me seriously, even if I'm not embarrassing.
What I almost imagine, and tell me what you think about this, but I almost imagine Hope is a teacher, and maybe she's like an English teacher, and she's basically takes this as you're talking in metaphor.
Yeah.
She doesn't push too hard. She just, if what you're saying sounds a little weird, she just assumes that it's, just your way of trying to describe what you're feeling, and she doesn't want to discourage that. Does that sound right?
Sure. And she knows it's important.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So she doesn't ask like who got away. She doesn't ask, for those kinds of things. She just sort of like sits down next to you and maybe kind of, places her hand on top of yours and just says, would you like me to make dinner?
Yeah, in a little bit. I can't let this happen. Hope. Whole feet Humphrey.
Whatever it is, we'll stop it. She has no idea what it is, but
well, what if I what do you do when something happens that you know is going to happen, then you try and stop it, and it happens anyway?
well, I guess you just prepare to weather the storm.
But no, the storm's too bad.
Then you seek whatever cover you can.
But if I wanted to hide, I could have done that. I don't want to hide. If I hide, everybody else will get wet.
What's the die that you're spending here? How much stress is it going to relieve?
I don't know how much stress does a 3 relieve.
3.
Okay.
Yeah, so it puts you down to just 1.
This is also positioning for a beat.
Okay. And I think she doesn't have like an answer for you, but like what is something that she could do here that would be comforting to Hope? I mean, aside from telling you what to do here, because I don't think she knows how to answer that question.
Just her acceptance. I mean, I say to her, I need to keep us safe. Then I do a big pause after the us.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know that's not the right pronoun.
Mm-hmm.
What
oh, sorry.
Say, what do you say when you hear the rumors about me? Is that okay?
I say that Hope is a sweet girl that I'm glad to know.
Everybody thinks you're my mom.
Yeah.
We both know that's not true.
Yeah. But let them think it.
Really?
Why not? What you said you're trying to kind of position yourself for doing one of the beats. Yeah. What are you going for here?
I say I'm going to be ready next time. I thought that by just knowing what would happen, that would be enough, and we could figure out what to do. And it wasn't enough. So next time, I'm gonna be. No, not next time. This time I'm gonna be ready for anything. And something happens. Hope Eames, looks away to put a cup up on the shelf. And when she looks away, Hope shifts somehow. She blurs in place. And she's not exactly the same. Very close.
Mm-hmm.
And Hope Eames probably turns back and says, "Did you cut your hair differently? Did you get a haircut or something like that?"
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he says, I just trimmed it with scissors myself this morning.
So what advancement scene is this?
This advancement is expertise.
Okay, so you're taking a new ability.
I'm taking an ability.
Yeah.
Because Hope has just picked a timeline where she got extra training.
Okay. Oh, that's pretty cool. What action are you choosing that you can use with this? You don't have to pick right now if you don't want to. You can wait till it comes up.
And this is the rating that I roll, or this is the
Yeah. So the way you choose one of your action ratings, and you can push your luck to use that rating
Right.
instead of a different action.
It's study. It's study.
Yeah, I kind of figured that might be.
Hope has just alternate timeline. Hope cracked the books on a lot of things like things like dirty fighting in a pinch.
Okay. Yeah, I love that.
Because Hope didn't cope. She's like, I was face to face with the thing and I had no idea what to do.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Harold, you working on a long-term project. What's the long-term project here?
So, I mean, we can talk about what this looks like. I think in a longer campaign, this would be a bunch of clocks. You know, I want to try to absorb, control. I don't even know yet exactly what it is. I mean, it's my drive, right? I want to conquer the demon in my head. So I think the first step to that, right, is probably reading some books. You know, did we end up saying our hideout has a library? I forget. Yeah, we did give it a library. So I think I'm like going through the occult library, trying to see like who is this demon, what's their deal.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I have an answer for that in this moment, but maybe over the course of the week, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
I'll figure something out. And so, like, what's this clock look like for this long-term project? And I think the outcome, right, is I think the outcome is less about like an actual power. Like I'm going to take some. I'm going to be flavoring a lot of my The next ability I take will be flavored through this, through this long-term project. But that's not what the long-term project is about.
Right.
I think the long-term project is actually going to be like communicating and coming to an understanding with this demon where I am in control.
Yeah. Gosh, I mean, I think I'm tempted to just make it a 4 o'clock so it can just be something that like will happen while we're still playing together.
Well, I would actually, I like the flavor of this during downtime. I didn't really have anything else to do, but I'm perfectly happy if it doesn't like I actually don't think like solving it quickly is as interesting as being in the middle of it when shit's going down in the finale. You know.
Well, let's say it's a 6 o'clock. I think you're right. In a longer campaign, it would probably be multiple clocks.
But the first one would be the study, and the next one would be the like, can I talk to it? And then the next one would be the something, and it would probably be like 4, 6, 8 or something like that.
Right.
But I'm fine with it.
Let's say 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock here.
Yeah.
And then my second. So I think my second one is like starting to have a conversation with it. And like I think at first we can't really communicate. Like up till now, right? It's always been this like kind of not even like almost just like sense of emotion, sense of it trying to control me, of me using my will to fight back. But like through whatever I learn about what it is, and I'll figure that out. I'm able to sort of like start like figuring out like what what kinds of things it wants, what it might respond to. Maybe there's like an incantation. Maybe I need to get another tattoo. I mean, I imagine that some of this process is actually just more tattoos on my head, on other parts of my body. And I think that's what this next thing is a pair of tattoos on my forearms of like of like that look kind of like these they're almost like bird talons, claws. They're not quite like anatomically, it doesn't quite work because they don't seem foot-like, but they've got that kind of like scaling and like articulation.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
And it doesn't go all the way out to my hands, right? Like the claw kind of ends at my I think that's like the inside of my forearm, and the claw kind of like ends over here-ish, right?
Okay.
They're not like I'm not becoming the demon. I'm just sort of like sort of like drawing it into my body in a certain way.
Well, these tattoos are on the insides of your arms?
Well,
or they go all around?
I think it's like on the yeah, I think the inside, like the underneath part.
Yeah, that's cool. That's super cool. So what are the dice that you're spending here?
They're both 5s.
Okay, so yeah, that's 4 segments total.
4 segments.
Tick on this 6 o'clock.
And my advance is relentless.
Fuck yeah.
That's what and it's this is definitely a supernatural. This is like me harnessing the demon's power.
Yeah. Oh, that's dope as hell. I love that.
And that's
cool.
Why it's the arms, that kind of thing. Anyways.
Yeah. Cool. So Dale, you're seeking solace as well?
That is correct, yeah.
Yeah. So what is your solace again? Remind me.
It is recreating the day-to-day rituals and tasks of the Bureau.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait to see this. What die are you spending here?
I'm spending my 4 dice. Okay.
So yeah, go ahead and clear 4 luck. And what does this look like?
We saw Dale's apartment briefly in the previous episode, and it is very austere. Described it as like looking like more like a freshly made like hotel room than someone's apartment. Like it's very basic. Unlike a hotel, and there's no like cheesy art on the walls. It is bare. It is white. Like no real designs on the sheets. The only thing that is in here as accoutrement is like file drawers and file folders and a conspiracy murder board on one wall that is like very orderly, like in columns, different like newspaper clippings and printouts from web pages, web forums about occult happenings. And I think we see Dale very meticulously disassemble that corkboard, and like there's definitely like a plastic bin he has taken out and is very carefully placing each individual piece inside the bin until it is empty. And he has furniture covers, so like a sewn white fabric cover for his desk chair, for his desk, for the file folder cabinet, for his bed. He is making his room, his apartment, look as white and clean as possible. And in the middle of doing that, he is repeating different like somatic rituals they would use in the Bureau to keep people safe, because I think one of the kind of standard operating procedures in the Bureau of people having to deal with lots of paranormal things is trying to make it analogous to things you can actually understand. So like things like circuit boards and how electronics work and stuff like that. And so he is recreating a whole bunch of mundane rituals that he thinks keeps him safe. and more importantly, reminds him of a time where he actually did feel safe, because he is now in the outside world, no longer in R&D, no longer behind, the weird barricades and things they would erect to keep things from the personnel. He is in, Last Pine, where he knows all things are possible. So it is very just austere and very lonely and kind of sad. Like it's clear this isn't healthy. And I'm pulling on a scene from a movie called The Card Counter, where one of the characters does this as well. It's kind of implied in that movie, like this is a sort of kind of penance. Like he is a little bit punishing himself by being removed from the world and not letting him enjoy aesthetic things. So there's probably a little bit of that in there as well.
Sure. Yeah.
And there's probably like a moment where like he has like a very old, well, not old, but a 90s laptop, which is just huge, size of a briefcase.
Right, yeah.
And he is like filing accounts and like reports, and he is doing it with a lot more like ritual than is necessary. Like he is straightening the page next to him with like a bunch of receipts, straighter than it needs to be, and very carefully like using the number function on the keypad, not the row on top, but the one on the side.
Yeah.
And he is muttering to himself different things every time he does it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Before we go into our second round of stuff, I realized that we did not go through the entire Fallout procedure because I was looking at the playtest sheet that only had the relevant parts on it. So we also just need to go through how much alarm you generated, and then I gather strings. So with some important exceptions, the people of Ontonagon don't want to believe in monsters and other strange phenomena. Many of them could not handle the truth that the uncanny is real, that the darkness is coming. A hunt might have witnesses. There's always evidence left behind to reflect this. Your pack generates alarm as you go on hunts. After a hunt, your alarm is calculated according to the nature of the hunt. There are also certain actions or items that garner additional attention. So 0 alarm is smooth and quiet, low exposure. 2 is contained, standard exposure. 4 is loud and chaotic, high exposure. 6 alarm is wild, devastating exposure. What do y'all think this one was here?
I think pretty high exposure, probably.
Yeah. Building got kind of blowed up.
And the cops were right there while it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
I think 4 seem fair.
Yeah.
Devastating seems too far.
Yeah.
Our pact has a thing that reduces alarm by 1.
Cool. Yeah. And then you get an additional alarm for public use of firearms or mild to moderate property damage. 2 for massive property damage or restricted items used. 2 if a regular person was killed. 3 if you're actively being hunted by monster or faction, you're not. 5 if the showdown took place in public with witnesses, that's not the case. I think there's an additional 2 just for what happened to this storefront, even though that wasn't directly because of your actions necessarily. I think that's gonna cause the people of Last Pine to be pretty spooked. So that is 6 minus 1 would put you at 5.
Okay.
And then you can mark that on the packed sheets alarm tracker. And basically, you won't gain a level of panic yet. If it reaches 8, you'd get panic, and then the higher your panic level, the more likely it is that regular people are going to interfere or be targeted, and that factions or monsters will act against you more forcefully. And then finally, I gather strings. Strings can be pulled during downtime or during hunts to create extra complications for the hunters. So I take up dice equal to the pack's panic level, which is 0. And then mark segments on the clock based on the result. Someone want to roll 2 dice for me?
Got it. 5 and a 4.
Okay, so we'll go with the 4. Well, I guess it's same either way. So I'm going to mark two segments on that clock. When that clock fills, then I get another string.
Okay.
Um,
I don't know if this is where it comes in, but I think Jesse gave you a string too.
yes, I spent that on. I pulled that string. That's what led to that scene with Mr. Heap.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Folks know what else you want to do. We'll still get to this scene with Mikey, but any other thoughts on downtime activities? Junior, Hope, and Dale, you each have one more, or any free play scenes that you can think of. That'd be fun.
I only have a 1, but I could give. I don't have anything else to do, so I'd be willing to give one mark on the clock for Jesse's thing. If we can come up with
cool.
a way that works.
Yeah, how does Junior help with this long-term project?
Yeah, I mean, what's your? I feel like it's because I've been keeping it kind of close to my chest. Do you like ask me about my tattoos or something, and then we like have a? Then we have.
I don't
that
know. Do you think the dagger might help somehow? I've got this dagger I ran off with. Maybe it has similar markings. Maybe I'm like, this looks kind of like that thing on the top of Harold's head.
Oh, I like that. I wonder. Right? Did you say it closes doors? Right?
I think it said it opens it. I think
opens,
it slashes open doors.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's what we want here, but I wonder if like fiddling with that like can help us help reverse engineer, right? Meaning like your opening doors, maybe like keep them closed tighter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I feel like in some ways that's its own long-term project, right?
Or we could flip it up. We could say we look at the bone more closely because the bone is the opposite, right?
The bone's a key.
It has some function
right?
to So maybe there's some markings on that remind me of your.
Oh yeah, I like
that tattoo.
Yeah. I wonder if we're like trying. I mean, I wonder if it's almost like it just it. Right, it's just so like what are these key and lock mechanics, right? How do they work, right? And how can we like work around them too, right? Because like basically, how do I make? Yeah, I like that.
Okay,
that's cool.
Yeah, so I can just give you one tick, but there you go.
All right, so I'm now at 5 of 6.
Wow. Okay. Brandon, do you know what your second activity for Hope is?
What general things can I do here?
Yeah, so if you go into the folder, there's the list of the downtime activity. Well, it's in the book as well, but it's updated in the folder. So you can acquire an asset, which is a temporary use of a special item or a set of common items, or it could be an ally, a vehicle, etc. You can quell alarm, which is to sort of help calm down the people.
I know what it is.
Okay.
And I don't care if this doesn't have effect. It's just a. So at some point when we're in our base, here, Junior. You see Hope do something you've never seen before, which is that she pulls out she reaches into a drawer and she pulls out a gun.
Mm-hmm.
She pops the clip on it, checks that there's not a bullet in it, and then she lays the gun down while she loads the clip. It's a weird gun. It looks like a 9mm automatic, except that no 9mm automatic ever had runes carved in the side.
Mm-hmm. So this sounds like acquiring an asset to me.
It is, yes.
Yeah. What's the die that you're spending on it?
The only die I have is a 1.
So 1. Okay. So you get one use of this magic gun.
But anyway, this is also just meant as a conversation piece here, Junior.
Sure.
Um,
I think Junior was excited because we were down, in the Fallout shelter, just the two of us, in the dim light, got some romantic music playing in the background, and not metal. And he's a little disappointed to see this guy, but he's interested. I like. So you never told me, how is it you go invisible?
oh, I don't go
What's-
invisible.
What's that all about?
Sorry. Oh, I don't go invisible. Oh, I'm sorry. I can see how you might have thought that. No, I don't go invisible. I'm just not altogether here. Maybe that doesn't explain anything.
No, not really, but
you're from here, right? You're from Lost Pine?
yeah.
Yeah. So am I, but not in this timeline. My Lost Pine had got overrun by monsters. Last Pine, yeah. Yeah, it used to be called Last Pine, but it pretty much got abandoned when the monsters overran it.
You're afraid that's going to happen here, right? Or or this place.
I'm pretty sure it's going to happen if we don't stop it, actually. Because all the Last Pines are pretty similar. They all, as far as I can tell, they all go the same way. Except for a few that don't.
And where you came from, was there another junior? Have to ask.
I didn't meet you. Mine is a little further down the road. The time in the different ones isn't synced up. So maybe you were older, or I just never met you. Where I come from, everybody is, I don't know, everybody's pretty much in survival mode. Small groups working together just to try and stay alive.
Sounds pretty terrible.
There are a lot of dangerous places. Travel is really fraught. There's nothing's normal. Nothing's like here. I followed something to come here. I saw something step into no place. And I thought I'd rather be anywhere except where I was. And so I followed it. And I ended up here.
Well, I want to help you, Hope. And for what it's worth, I'm glad you're here.
Well, I want to help me too. I've been here for a while, and but not the same yet. Anyway, to answer your question, I can. Ever since I went between one timeline and another, if I concentrate really hard, I can shift just a little bit.
I think that's where the scene ends. Dale.
Yeah.
What's your last?
I don't have anything, honestly.
Okay. What's the die that you have?
I have a 3.
You want to give it to Jesse? Finish out his.
I don't want.
task?
I don't want to finish my project.
Yeah, I don't know.
If it, acquire asset can always be a fun one if you have any ideas on what that might be, something that could help in this next hunt.
Oh yeah, sure. I can do something for that. Gosh, what would be useful for Dale? Okay. Yeah, he is going to. I think this is a continuation of him in his very weird apartment, doing something. Let me bring up the downtime stuff here. Yes. So he knows the power of rituals and things being in certain patterns. So I think it is he breaks up some chalk. I think on the other side of the cork board is a chalkboard. And he starts carving little sigils into it. And I think it is literally he gets out like a D-cell battery and like tapes it to the cork board and gets out his soldering iron and actually like solders the wires from the battery onto the cork board or on the chalkboard. And he does that, the sort of runic magical circuits he has made light up. And he gets a thing. What does he want? Oh, okay. Let's do this. I want a easier version of what Dale was using, the binding ritual. But he's going to bind it to like a common everyday item. You can just like press to something. It's just going to like if you press it to a thing, it's going to just stay there. That's
Okay.
the idea.
Yeah.
Some weird arcane thing.
Yeah. Think between sessions. Think about what that item is or looks like.
Oh, it's a spare house key.
Oh, that's so cool. I love that. Yeah. Cool. And it just like kind of materializes in this
yeah, I think he has a key that he like once like the sigil is charged, he like takes it and presses against it and like yelps because the charge goes through him a bit. And yeah, now it's like a weird like chromatic, like rainbowy kind of color, like the kind of like color of like when you see like gasoline on water, that kind of shimmery rainbow effect. Like that's what it looks like. It's like constantly shifting between colors.
Cool. Very cool. All right. Well, I think then we're just left with this scene with Harold and Mikey. Where's this taking place?
I think it's got to be the last pint.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Before Mercy's shift.
Definitely before Mercy's shift. I think like whoever he's there with, right? Like either got up to like, put $1 in the jukebox, or right. That sounds about right for 1994, right? $1 for 3 plays or whatever.
Yeah.
And or go to the bathroom or whatever, and he's like sitting alone in the booth in the back. I slide in, and I look him in the face, and I say, Mikey, you got to help me out.
What do you mean, Harold?
You know. I don't know why I assume he knows, but I'm saying like I'm trying to be mysterious and intimidating.
Yeah.
Right?
He's definitely intimidated by you.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I've got. I don't know that I'm using it here, does it? But like I have that move. I'm the one.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and I'm definitely giving off those frightening vibes.
Mm-hmm. Listen, I appreciate that you didn't tell Joe about the magic mushrooms. Like, just
here's what I want you to do. You know that warrant?
he kind of dawns on him what you're about to ask him. Harold, I can't do that.
I know you can't make it disappear. That's not how this works. There's computers and shit. Records. All I want you to do is make sure it doesn't cross the sheriff's desk again. And maybe, if she's reminded of it somehow, distract her.
I'll see what I can do, Harold.
No. You're going to do it. I mean, I am trying to push a compel roll here.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say otherwise you could spend well, I guess since you leveled up the trust, there isn't a bond to spend, but you could spend a bond, and this could be an acquire an asset.
Oh. We don't have any bonds to spend.
Yeah, because the trust leveled up. So yeah, if you want to do a compel roll here, that works too.
The camera's frozen too.
Who's this?
Microphone.
Oh, I see.
Never mind.
All right. Yeah. So I'm not going to push myself. I have 1 die.
Mm-hmm.
Just going to roll that 1 compel die and see what happens. And it's a 6.
All right. Yeah. He takes a big drink of his beer, and says, "All right, Harold. I'll make sure that it doesn't come across her desk."
It's good. It's good to have friends, Harold. It's good to have friends.
You just called Mikey Harold.
Oh, sorry, I'm Harold. It's good to have. Maybe there was someone else saying that to me, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I love that.
Yeah. Let's. I think Mikey walks away looking confused and a little perturbed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's the episode.
All right.
We want to do XP and stuff real quick. All right. I'm just going to go in order on the character keeper. So Harold, did you approach a challenge with force of will or brawn?
Yes.
You certainly did. Did you embody your background or drive?
I did.
Yeah, you did. Did you express your beliefs, or were they tested or changed?
Yep.
Yep. Did you portray your relationship to the Pact or the people of Iron Country?
I'm not sure I did there.
Okay.
No, that's not true. The Mikey stuff, I think, is there.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily like a positive relationship, right? It's
right,
complicated, but it's
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Like, how do I fit into this community exactly?
hmm
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think even the interactions with, like when the police were at the scene and like kind
Yeah.
of how that, yeah, absolutely.
But also, I don't think the cops are good for the community. So there's that.
Right.
too.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'll do it.
Dale, did you approach a challenge with influence or guile?
Several times.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you embody your background or drive?
Yeah, I'd say so.
hmm Did you express your beliefs or were they tested or changed?
Yeah, especially
Okay.
in the Solus scene.
hmm And did you portray your relationship to the Pact or the people of Iron Country?
Some people still think I work for the feds.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, so if you want between sessions, maybe think about which advancement scene you'd like to do, and we can maybe start the next session with that, and then go into the hunt there. Hope, did you approach a challenge with ingenuity or knowledge?
Yes,
Yeah. Did you embody your background or drive?
I sure did.
Did you express your beliefs or were they tested or changed?
I did express my beliefs.
Yeah. And did you portray your relationship to the Pact or the people of Iron Country?
I sure did.
Yeah. Cool.
Or at least I alluded to it pretty strongly.
Sure. I think it counts. And finally, Junior, did you approach a challenge with courage or empathy?
Yeah.
Did you embody your background or drive?
Yeah.
Did you express your beliefs or were they tested or changed?
Yep.
Yeah. Did you portray your relationship to the Pact or the people of Iron Country?
Yeah, I definitely showed a lot of concern for them.
hmm I think that scene with Gran too. I think
Yeah.
can fulfill that. Yeah. Very
And,
cool.
And with
I
hope
get,
too.
yeah, and I get my
Yeah.
baby driver.
Nice. Okay, and for the Pact, did you protect the town and its people?
Yes.
Yeah.
We attempted to.
Yeah,
I mean, you stopped them from being able to open any more doors right now, so I think that
That's
counts.
a win.
Yeah. Did you get in over your heads?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Did you express or change your Pact's reputation?
I guess so. Does that the trust going up? Does that count or?
No.
No, it'd really
that's
be
just
more.
mechanical, more narrative.
Yeah. Yeah. it's more narrative.
I don't know. We
Not
kind of
really.
kept it on the down low, didn't we?
Yeah, I kind of feel like you weren't really weirdos, but you also didn't like push hard into a different reputation. Jesse, you're muted.
We weren't weirdos. I thought we were pretty weird.
Yeah.
I mean,
Jesse had his whole thing with the sheriff with the fuzz. Maybe.
yeah, there was that stuff. I think there was also. I mean, like it's a little bit weird, right? Because like Dale doing this whole like federal agent shtick with the, you know, like I had that succeeded. I don't know if that would have been weird, but like given like they must know you as a resident of the town, right? Not
True. That's a good
right?
point.
If you're part of this pact with a reputation, right? They go, oh, this guy's a Fed, but he's not very what, right? I don't know. I feel like there's some weirdness there.
Yeah. Well, you get to decide. So I think.
I don't know. What does everyone else think?
Yeah, I'd say that. Yeah. I
I
think we created some weird vibes with the cops now, for sure. Especially with Jesse's last scene there too. Putting the pressure on the deputy, or was that the sheriff? I think it was the deputy.
It was the deputy.
Yeah.
And did you struggle due to inner conflict or interpersonal drama?
I mean, I'm sure there was a lot of people watching the show are like, are Junior and Hope finally going to kiss? But it didn't happen. So maybe.
Right. Okay. Cool. Well, and we can think then too about what kind of advancement you want to take for the Pact. But why don't we end the recording?